Hello everyone. It's that time of the year when in between the feasting and getting everything out of your system, people are asking, okay, what are you giving up for Lent? Lent being a time to make some changes or give up bad habits or just in tradition, it's a day of it's a 40 days of dying to yourself. You are trying to improve, but you are also working and remembering when Christ went through 40 days of fasting and of being tempted by the devil. Now, people give up smoking, people give up caffeine, people give up chocolate. People are attempting to die to self in many ways and give up bad habits, which is fine. And at the same time, it's also, you're going to find yourself being tempted very, very much, because that's the whole thing. And trying to give up bad habits means a lot of temptation. I thought I was being pretty smart last year. Oh, I'll give up cussing. And then the privations kicked in. And I'm a millennial, so I'm not really used to this whole being locked indoors and giving things up just as a matter of course. It's been so crazy. I mean, there have been privations in many respects my entire life, just by virtue of the fact that I had to work a bit harder to get certain things, or I've seen things like death and violence and sadness just as a matter of course, because we were dealing with a parent who had an incurable illness, who left the planet very, very young. So, dealing with that and dealing with the many, many illnesses that he had, dealing with, sacrifices made for that, including gas money and travel, and just watching someone go very, very quickly. At the same time, I don't really remember having to give up favorite foods or give up community or give up this and that as we have over the last many, many months. I do remember other privations, such as the 2008 gas crisis, in which many, many people were finding that $20 didn't stretch very far when it came down to buying fuel for their cars, when that would often get you in many, many places. I remember lots of those things, and I remember what things were like during my divorce and my annulment, in which I had to give up a lot just by virtue of, paying a lawyer and doing paperwork for that. And, but Lent is all about sacrifice and dying to self and giving those things to a higher cause. And I thought I was being pretty smart one year, and I asked for patience, which, deep. Not a good idea. I thought twice before I decided to give up caffeine. This is from Mystic Monk. They're a wonderful coffee company, by the way. I suggest you try them out. They are not paying me, but I am willing to advertise for free. It is heavenly coffee. Sorry, chock full of nuts. Move over. And that seemed like a bad idea. Last year I tried to give up swearing, which didn't go so well. I think I'm gonna keep my Lenten give up to myself and work on it through myself, because it is indeed for myself. Patience was a bad idea because, like I said, we are human. We will be tempted. And what is patience? Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'm going to read what the dictionary has to say, because honestly, I have trouble with this myself. Patience, the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting upset. The example given is, you can find bargains if you have the patience to sift through the dross. In British English, it's any of the various forms of card game for one player, the object of which is to use up all one's cards by forming particular arrangements and sequences, aka solitaire. So, what do I suggest? Well, giving things up or having privations and finding that you're struggling is always difficult. I can only suggest that you remember those things that do give you help. That if you pray, pray. If you don't, well, don't. I also suggest meditation. Fitbit has some great meditations for that. I often do the stress reliever and the sleep meditations. I highly suggest giving yourself a break and not, oh, well, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that, because that's not going to help you. And I suggest giving yourself a little bit of patience if you mess up, and remember that tomorrow is another day, to quote Scarlett O'Hara. Not generally the person I go to for my good advice, but broken clocks are right at least twice a day. And if you need it, talk to someone. It's okay to have that moment of grabbing your hair and being angry. And it's okay to have a bad day. And it's okay. Just remember that it's okay. And that you are loved, 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 of course. Be happy, be healthy. If you're not feeling well, take good care of that. Don't sit patiently and hope that things go away. And don't hurt yourself by doing what I did last year when I knocked my hip out of the socket, which was wait and walk on it because I was a stubborn jerk. And don't call yourself names like I just did. And of course, stick to the people that you know love you and are positive, and just in general, not just for Lent, when you're trying to give up self and selfishness. And don't give up self so much that you become a bit of a overtired cog in a wheel. Never ever become just a cog in the wheel. You are loved. Na zdrowie. Take good care of you. Bless.